Hello and welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. Wike declares 19 suspected illegal refinery kingpins wanted, orders directors arrest. Niger Delta youth leaders praise NNPC boss role on PIA. EFCC receives 22 oil thieves impounded vessel from Nigerian Navy. Now the news in details. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has declared 19 persons wanted for allegedly operating illegal crude oil refining sites responsible for the black suits in the state. The governor has also directed the Rivers Head of Service to query a director in the Ministry of Energy, Mr. Temple Amakiri, and hand him over to the police for investigation and possible prosecution for allegedly abetting illegal bunkering activities. Wike, in a broadcast on Saturday, said the state government had resolved to tackle the suit by closing down all identified illegal crude oil refining sites in the state. This was contained in a statement issued by the governor's media aide, Kelvin Ebiri, and made available to journalists in Port Harcourt. The statement read, "The following persons have been identified as kingpins of bunkering and illegal crude oil refining activities in their community and have been declared wanted and directed to report themselves to the state police, to whom we already have passed their details to. They are Mr. Zubike Amadi, Commander Ogbogoro Community and Chairman of Akpo Central, Mr. India of Rumo Lumeni Community and Chairman of Oil Bunkering Association in Akpo Kingdom, Mr. Oke, who is in charge of oil bunkering in Rumu Pareli, Mr. Anderson, who is in charge of oil bunkering activities in Ogbogoro Community, Amadi Gift of Ogbogoro Community, Azerowa of Ogbogoro Community, and Kinsley Igbula, also of Ogbogoro Community. Also declared wanted, Kemkom Azubike, Mezuwabali, Chigozi Amadi, Oporum Honda, Bakasi Obodo, Galaxy Mars, Chioma, Ogonda, Soldier, Chefo, and Nkasim. We also have identified those behind illegal bunkering activities in Okrika communities, Port Harcourt Township, Rivers Southeast and Rivers Southwest Senatorial District, and their names will soon be published and they will be declared wanted if they fail to voluntarily report themselves to the police. Groups of youth leaders in the Niger Delta region have extolled the leadership and professional qualities of the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), Mr. Mele Kyari. The coalition, under the auspices of the Niger Delta Youth Coalition for Peace and Progress (NDYCPP), in a statement on Saturday by its coordinator, Mr. Kennedy Tonjo West, described Kyari as a detribalized principled professional and visionary leader. Tonjo West said the NNPC boss would always be remembered by the people of the region for the noble roles he played in the passage of the age-long petroleum industry bill into law and eventual assent by President Muhammadu Buhari last year. He said, though there were some misgivings in the past Petroleum Industry Act (PIA), Kyari's efforts must not go unnoticed, rationalizing that he deserves some accolades from the people of the region, particularly the youth. You are an industry technocrat par excellence, very seasoned public administrator, team player that works seamlessly both with his superiors like President Muhammadu Buhari, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timper Silva, as well as his numerous subordinates. He said the Niger Delta youth leaders have also concluded arrangements to confer on Kyari an award par excellence on probity and public administration come February 2022 during the occasion of the Niger Delta Youth Entrepreneur Summit on Oil and Gas. An impounded crude vessel marked MTTIS-4 and 22 crew members arrested on board have been handed over to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) by the Nigerian Navy in Bayelsa State. The commander, Nigerian Navy Ship Sorrow, Commander Patrick Effa, handed over the vessel and the suspected oil thieves to the EFCC at Brass in the Brass local government area of the state on Saturday. EFA said the vessel was loaded with 700,000 liters of illegally sourced crude oil when it was seized alongside the 22 crew members on 6 December 2021 in Akassa River. He said, "We have established the fact that the vessel and her crew are complicit in crime that borders on economic sabotage. As a result of that, we are here to officially hand over the vessel and her crew to EFCC to further carry out investigations and prosecute the offenders for economic crime." The NNS Sorrow commander explained that the Navy had the mandate to apprehend any ship believed to be carrying out illegalities in the Nigerian maritime domain. EFA said the Navy does not have prosecutorial powers but have by law the obligation to hand over seized vessels and arrested crude oil thieves to the Anti-Graft Agency for further investigation and prosecution. An assistant superintendent of the EFCC, Anthony Mark, who led a team from the Port Harcourt Zonal Office while receiving the vessel and the suspects, said the commission will probe the incident thoroughly. Oil prices were up on Monday following days of supply shortfalls in Kazakhstan and Libya. Global benchmark Brent crude gained 35 cents, rising to $82.1 a barrel at 8 o'clock GMT. US benchmark West Texas Intermediate was also up by 37 cents, trading at $79.27 a barrel. Overall, oil prices jumped 5% last week following protests in Kazakhstan, which disrupted train lines and triggered a production plunge at the country's major oil field, Tengiz. Pipeline maintenance in Libya also affected global prices as production in the troubled oil-rich country dropped to 729,000 barrels per day from last year's high of 1.3 million barrels per day, down over 40%. Apart from supply issues, oil prices are also affected by rising global demand and what some consider minor output increases from the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies. The group, however, expects an oversupply on the oil market this year and has kept its supply additions for January at the level agreed upon last summer. In July, OPEC decided to gradually boost output by 400,000 barrels per day each month to restore production, which had been cut in 2020 following a plunge in demand as COVID-19 lockdowns hit travel and economic activities. Canada has one of the most ambitious climate commitments in the world. It is also the world's fourth largest oil producer, with oil revenues accounting for 5% of GDP. It is not an easy situation to be in, but apparently it is not an impossible one. Canada has committed to reducing its emissions by between 40 and 45% from 2005 levels to 2030. It has yet to draw a detailed plan on how to get there, but Trudeau's government has made the commitment. Meanwhile, oil production is seen rising by as much as 18% by that year, the Financial Times reported recently, citing Canada's energy regulator. That would come out in at a total of close to 4 million barrels of crude daily. Yet, it seems that according to the country's natural resources minister, the two are not entirely incompatible. For the oil demand that continues to exist, Canada needs to extract value from its resources like the United States, the United Kingdom in the North Sea, and Norway, Jonathan Wilkinson told the Financial Times this week. At the same time, the minister added that the federal government was going to be very aggressive in reducing emissions from the sector. Nigerian importers have solicited a more conducive trade environment in the new year, urging the federal government to lift the restrictions on foreign exchange. The importers, under the auspice of Shippers Association of Lagos (SAL), attributed the quest for a more conducive trade environment to the lingering effects of agitations, lawlessness, and other negative consequences experienced in 2021. President, Shippers Association of Lagos, Jonathan Nicole, in a statement, noted that the restrictions on foreign exchange could be counterproductive as a lot of industries will be grossly affected by the policy. According to him, import trade will suffer due to foreign exchange restrictions. He noted that importers could hardly pay freight charges as the approved window was $5,000 limit for 30 days. Freight above $5,000 will be held until freight charges have been fully prepaid upfront. Goods will attract storage charges abroad for as long as the freight is pending, and this type of restriction is counterproductive. However, it is encouraging that President Muhammadu Buhari promised to provide foreign exchange for industries and manufacturers in 2022 because of the importance of local production of essential materials and for exports, he said. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. Wike declares 19 suspected illegal refinery kingpins wanted, orders directors arrest. Niger Delta youth leaders praise NNPC board's role on PIA. EFCC receives 22 oil thieves impounded vessel from Nigerian Navy. And that's the news. I am Naomi Oleribe. Good evening.